Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing one of my favorite videos to film, and that is going to be next month's Cozy Mystery releases. So today we're going to be doing May 2022's Cozy Mystery releases. I have, I think, 10 or 11 new releases that we're going to be going over. And yeah, let's go and just hop into our first one. So our first one I'm very excited for. It's called A Sprinkle in Thyme, and this is book 2 within the Shake Shop Mystery series. And I actually just picked up and read book 1 of this series. It's by Mentink, and this is what the first one looks like. It's from my library, so I'm just covering that up with a sticker, but I really enjoyed this. I just finished it this last weekend, and the main character, her name is Trinidad Jones, and she is opening a shake shop in the town of Sprocket, which I believe is centered in Upper Sprocket, Oregon. And she's brought her cute dog, which I love. Her dog is actually I don't know how to say, like a failed service dog. Like they were training to be a service dog but just didn't quite make the cut, but they still, you know, have a lot of the habits of a service dog, so it's kind of interesting in that respect. But she's opening the Shimmy and Shake shop, and I personally really loved this first book. I gave it a solid 4 stars out of 5. And the new one that's coming out is called A Sprinkle in Thyme. It's book 2 within the series, and it's going to be coming out May 24th. So I'm very excited for this book. This one takes place during Alpen Fest in Oregon, and basically she's getting her shake shop ready. It's called Shimmy and Shake, for a feature within a shake like food culinary magazine. She's getting it ready. She's kind of juggling her grandfather, Papa Luis, who came to the town in this first book. He came to town, and it looks like maybe he's staying. I don't know. She's you know, seeing how he's feeling about it, but he's causing some havoc, making things hard for her to kind of get everything together for her feature and for all the tourists that are flocking to town for the festival, when all of a sudden I believe it's a 1951 Buick, he discovers a dead body in the trunk of the Buick, which obviously that's a problem. If you found a dead body in the trunk of your car, would you not, I mean, what do you even do? I would freak out. That's what I would do. But he rushes to get Trinidad and is like, you know, there's a dead body. However, when they go back to get it, the body has disappeared. So now they're investigating alongside, and I really love this, Bonnie and Juliet. And Bonnie and Juliet are actually the ex-wives of the same man that Trinidad was married to. She was his third wife unknowingly. He was actually a big scammer, so he scammed his previous wives and then tricked Trinidad into marrying him. She wasn't aware that he was previously married and all that, but she does kind of form a little bit of a bond, a friendship with Juliet in this one here, which is kind of, I like that. I thought that was a really cool like sisterhood thing. So I guess we're going to meet the other wife who also lives in town in this book 2, so I'm really excited for that. So that is essentially the main plot of this. I am really excited for this. I'm hoping my library will get it because they have the first book, and I really enjoyed the writing style. The town was very flavorful. The characters were great. The mystery was enjoyable. I did call it, but it was very well put together. So I really enjoyed the first one. So I'm getting excited to hopefully get to read this one soon. So coming out on May 31st, we have a book called Murder Most Grave, and this is a Granny Reid mystery. It is book 4 within the series, and it's written by G.A. McKevett. Not quite sure how to say that. And this one sounds interesting. I have not read anything from this series, but let me know if you have, because I haven't heard of this series before, and this sounds very interesting to me. So the main character, her name is Stella Granny Reid, and it sounds like she's got her hands just full with a bunch of grandkids that she's like raising. I'm not quite sure where the mother and father are. That's kind of just what the summary says, but she's very busy raising a grandbaby that was newly born, and also keeping track of one of her teenage granddaughters who is after a boy who's going to break her heart, unfortunately, just one of those heartbreaker types. And this keeps Stella, or Granny, from hanging out with her friend Manny, who is the sheriff in town. However, they're brought back together to work on a case because shortly after, a grave digger actually finds a man like sprawled across a grave, dead. Not like he was about to be buried, but like he was murdered, and he's in the cemetery, and the grave digger finds him. And this is a man who's a little, you know, has a little bit of a criminal past, it sounds like. He's not someone that a lot of locals are like super comfortable around. Like, he's not someone that you'd want to mess with or that people are really missing, but of course he still didn't deserve this untimely demise. So Stella and Manny, the sheriff, go on a hunt to figure out what exactly happened to this man and who did it, essentially. So this one sounds really interesting. I'm really intrigued by this series. I want to see what book 1 in it is. If you've read it, let me know. As with any of these, let me know if you're a fan of the series. I'm always looking for your feedback on things. You guys give me the best recommendations. And before you forget, don't forget to like and subscribe if you do like mysteries and book content. I publish videos every single week on this channel, and we'd love it if you'd hit subscribe and join our little family on here. And going on to book 3. So I actually covered this in my new Cozy Mystery series for the year. I've done now 2 videos on that topic. I'll link them up in the cards if you want to check them out, where I basically was talking about brand new series book 1 releases for the year, and this one is called Renovated to Death. It's called a Domestic Partners Mystery Series. It's going to be coming out on May 31st, and it's by Frank Anthony Polito. So this series sounds really interesting to me. I definitely have it on my personal TBR, and I'm excited to hopefully check it out. I'm going to see if my library is going to get it. If not, I will figure out a way to get my hands on it for sure. So we have 2 main characters. They're real-life domestic partners, and they run a home decor show together. So we have Peter, also known as PJ, and JP, and Peter is actually an aspiring mystery author, and JP is like a retired cop, or he had experience out there doing detective and cop work, which kind of was useful for an amateur sleuth kind of situation. And so basically they are working on this huge house in town, renovating it for the show. And this gorgeous Tudor style mansion that they're renovating is owned by 2 twin brothers. So they're working on it, everything's going well, until one of the brothers ends up dead in the middle of their project, and they discover him, and it's some sort of foul play is involved. So they are starting to use their sleuthing skills between PJ's mystery author writing an interest in crime, and then JP being an ex-cop. They're using their skills combined to try to figure out what happened to the twin brother, and he has a laundry list, it sounds of different suspects who could have done it. It sounds like there's multiple ex or scorned lovers. There's a really crabby neighbor who doesn't like them. Even the twin brother maybe has a motive, so there's a lot going on. This one sounds really interesting to me, and I do like the idea of the home show and the renovations, and I think just having I feel when people are handyman, home renovators, different home, I don't want to say home employees, but maids, even people who work within people's homes, it's such a great amateur sleuth profession because you have natural access to more clues and things because you're already within someone's home. So I like that trope a lot, basically. So I'm really excited for this one, and yeah, that's our 3rd book for today. So coming out on May 3rd, we have something that is on my personal 2022 most anticipated releases, and it's called Strawberried Alive. It's a cupcake bakery mystery series. It's book 14 in the series, and it's by Jenn McKinlay, who is one of my favorite writers in the cozy mystery genre. I have a stack. Let me just grab one. I have a stack of some of her books here. This is one of them. This is Pumpkin Spice Peril, which I still need to read. I just picked it up in a mystery book haul if you want to check it up out there. But I've read almost every book in this series except for 2 or so that my library didn't have, which I recently purchased and will be reading. Very excited. But this is the new one that's releasing, and basically our main character Mel and Angie they're kind of our main characters. The story is told more from Mel's angle, but they're best friends and they run Fairy Tale Cupcakes, which is Cupcake Bakery, together. And Mel is getting married in this book, and so she's going about her business, running the bakery, getting ready for her wedding, surely, and she steps outside of her bakery one day and someone takes a shot at her, so she has someone take a shot at her, which is obviously concerning, and her fiance is actually, I always forget his specific position, but he's I think a district attorney or something. He works somehow within the legal system, so there has been previous mysteries within this series where his life or his family's life or Mel's life is threatened in some way because of a case that he's currently working on or testifying against. So they're kind of suspect whether it's something to do with his career, and they're taking a shot at Mel to get back at the fiance. But then more shots are taken at other business owners in the area, so now they're trying to kind of unravel the mystery of why someone's trying to take out these business owners within the area. what their problem is, basically. So that is the story. I'm really excited. There isn't like a clear murder within the summary. I'm assuming one of the business owners maybe eventually gets taken out by this like random or not so random gunman or gunwoman. But I'm excited. I think it sounds really interesting. I think the cover on this is absolutely darling. And I highly recommend you checking out this series if you haven't already, and this book I'm sure will be excellent because I've loved every book in this series, and I've read, this is book 14 that's coming out on the 3rd, and I've read I think 11 books in the series, so I have a very well-rounded opinion on the series at this point, and I just love it. So if you are interested in culinary mysteries, I hope you'll check this one out because it's good. It's really good. As always, all the books and things I talk about will be in the description with links if you want to check them out or pre-order them, etc. So coming out on May 10th, we have another book I discussed in the brand new series video I did. So this is the first one in the series. It's called Bear Witness, and it's an Alaska Untamed mystery by Lark Jensen. And basically it involves our main character Stacy, who's an Alaska tour guide. She gives like boat tours, it sounds like. And one day she has this particularly annoying tourist on the boat who just won't stop asking her weird questions and just is kind of a pest. However, on a later tour that day, she's out on the water showing, doing her tour when another tourist spots that previous tourist in the water dead. So it brings up a lot of questions. She didn't get a name from him. The man is unidentified. What happened? And from the way that he's found in the water, she suspects he was pushed and it was a murder. So that's kind of the premise of this. I also love it because in the description it mentions that Stacy has a husky named Sasha, and I love huskies. They're the most just stunning, gorgeous looking dogs with like the bright eyes. I love them, so pretty. So this book sounds really interesting. It's a brand new series, so you won't be missing out or having to catch up on anything if you're interested in this one. And yeah, this is a new one called Bear Witness, which again, I love the punny title. That's a great title, in my opinion. Alright, so the next one is called The Diva Says Cheesecake, and this is part of the Domestic Diva series by Krista Davis. This is book 15 in the series, and it will be coming out May 31st. So our main character is described as an entertaining guru, and her name is Sophie. This mystery does include like dessert recipes and decorating tips, it sounds like, and guessing from the title, she's a domestic diva, so she kind of is a rock star when it comes to like homemaker entertaining type things. She is hired by a friend of hers named Bobby to help out with like different food things at this event that Bobby is hosting. However, at the event, Bobby is extremely upset because her husband Tate is a no-show, which, of course that would be irritating if you were expecting your spouse to be there and it's a big event, you're having your friends, family, all that coming over. But the next morning, Tate's body is found and Bobby immediately says she had nothing to do with it. However, of course, the police are, kind of looking at her heavily, scrutinizing her actions, her motives, and the fact that she was very annoyed at him the night before because, as is the case with a lot of things, the spouse is going to be a primary suspect. So Sophie starts working hard to clear her friend's name and show that Bobby didn't do it. It also sounds, I'm kind of curious about the title because it's The Diva Says Cheesecake, but in the description it mentions that Bobby specifically does not want cheesecake at the party, and she's like the queen of cheesecake, so I'm not quite sure what that is. I haven't read this series yet, although I did just pick up the second book in this series. My library did not have the first one, but I picked up the second book, which is The Diva, I think, Runs Out of Time. But it's like thyme. She runs out of thyme, but it's pun on time. So I'm excited to start reading this book because I had some of you recommend this series to me. So I'm definitely checking this one out. But I wanted to mention this because I know it's a very popular series. And yeah, I think the cover is so cute on this. I really like the cover. Okay, so coming out on May 3rd, we have another book called Claws for Suspicion. It's by Deborah Blake, and it is book 3 within the Catskills Rescue Mystery Series. And if you are a cat lover, this is going to be perfect for you. Basically, our main character, her name is Carrie, and she and her cat, Queenie, really cute, run like a Catskills rescue for cats. And Carrie is looking forward to enjoying the Oktoberfest activities this autumn, especially because she has a beau that she is enjoying spending time with, and she's just looking forward to the quality time with him and her kitten. However, it kind of gets spoiled because her ex-husband comes into town and he insists that they are not actually divorced. And when it turns out that he's right, like their divorce papers, I guess something didn't process in full, and he's coming after like her rescue and some like recent money that she came into, and just causing all these problems. And then an unexpected death occurs and just kind of puts everything into perspective. Everything's going crazy, and it looks like Carrie might be a suspect in it, so she's working to clear her name, get her rescue secured, and her cat are on the case essentially. So I love the cover for this. It's really darling, and I'm excited to, I know we're still in spring, but I love autumn, so I'm excited to read some autumn things. But I have not personally read this series. Let me know if you're familiar with it. It sounds really adorable, so yeah, gotta love any cozy mystery with like pets at the center of it. It just makes everything better. Alright, so our next release is coming out on May 3rd. It's called Hold On for Beer Life, and it's by Ellie Alexander, and this is part of her Sloan, I think it's Sloan Krause mystery series, and this is actually like a halfway book. It's book 5.5 in the series, so it sounds like it's going to be like a novella. And I personally have not read this series. However, I've read her Bookshop mystery series, and it is fantastic. It's quickly become a favorite of mine. I read the first one, I think, in December, and I'm already on book like 7 or something. Really enjoying it. So I'm actually, once I get through the Bookshop mystery, I want to go back and try to read this one. But this one is actually around a brewer. Her name is Sloan, and her partner Garrett are going on like a spring-summer trip to go sample some microbrews. And there's all these beautiful orchards, and just the sights are gorgeous. They're enjoying themselves. The food is amazing. However, they find one of the young interns at the Nano Brewery is knocked out, and they quickly find, you know, some foul play is involved, and they're kind of suspect. They're wondering if their own lives are in danger. What's going on? Was this supposed to be a murder? And so they're going to go on the case and figure out what happened. So I think it sounds really interesting. I do like the occasional novella, and it's kind of fun to have like those, you know, middle of the series, like right in between 2 books, novellas. So this one sounds fun. I can personally recommend Ellie Alexander is an excellent cozy mystery writer. I adore her Bookshop mystery series, and eventually I'm definitely planning on getting to this series. Let me know if you've read it. So our next one is called Smile Beach Murder. It's an Outer Banks Bookshop mystery, book 1 within the series, so it's a brand new series for this year. It's coming out on May 10th, and it's by Alicia Bessette. And this one sounds really interesting. I did talk about this at my new cozy series release, so I will briefly touch on it again. So basically our main character's name is Callie, and she lives on Cattail Island, and her mother infamously died when she was younger from like a lighthouse, like from a fall, and it was deemed, it sounds like a suicide. Like there wasn't foul play suspected or no arrest was made, so it was deemed an accident or suicide, something along those lines. However, as the anniversary approaches, a woman actually ends up dying in a very similar fashion. Her name was Eva? I think it's pronounced Eva. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, she ends up dying in a similar fashion, and Callie is like, no, I don't think my mother actually died this way, and I definitely don't think Eva committed suicide or, you know, had an accident like this either, especially because she knows that Eva had come into some knowledge about treasure on the island, so she's really suspecting foul play and like someone hurt Eva to get to this information. So she enlists the help of her friends and some books and different things on the history of the island to try to figure out who did it. However, tragedy strikes again, another murder happens, and it just sounds like a really fast-paced, interesting mystery. I know I mentioned it in the other video, but I love the colors on this. The cover with the orange and the blue, I think it's such a beautiful color combination. Like, props to the cover artist. It's gorgeous. And so again, that will be coming out May 10th, and it's a brand new series. Totally new for the year. So our last book will be coming out on the 24th. It's called A Midsummer Night's Fudge. It is book 10 within the Candy Coated Mystery series by Nancy Coco. And again, darling cover, absolutely love it. And so our main character's name is Allie McMurphy, and she is a hotel and like candy shop owner, which love the combination, amazing. And she is deciding, there's like some festivities happening in town. It sounds like they're based in Michigan, and she's decided to take her, I'm gonna try to pronounce this, Bichon Poo, which apparently is a dog that's a mix between a Bichon Frise, I believe is how you say it, and a toy poodle. I had to look that up. Definitely did not know that off the top of my head, but I'm assuming that's a cute little white dog on the front. So she is driving her dog back home because there's fireworks that are about to go off and she doesn't want him to be agitated by the fireworks, when she comes across a body, which is actually the body of a judge for a like beauty competition that was going on for the festival. And so she reports it, of course. The next morning she is making her favorite fudge recipe. It sounds like dark chocolate and cherry or something, and I was like, oh, say no more, that sounds amazing. She's making this recipe and she's thinking about it, what happened, the mystery, like what happened to this poor woman when she herself was actually recruited to take the lady's place in crowning the queen for the festival. So she takes her place and she ends up coming across a lot of gossip and rumors about threats and things that the woman was getting before her murder. And so Allie puts on her sleuthing hat and is trying to figure out what happened, much to her boyfriend's disapproval. It sounds like he's in law enforcement or something like that, but she's determined to figure out what happened and also maybe protect herself in the process if someone's going after her for the position she's in. So personally, this sounds really great. I'm now craving fudge really badly, but this sounds really great. So I have this on my TBR, this series. I want to start from the beginning, but it sounds really excellent, and I just fudge. Fudge is so good. Anyways, that is the end of this May Cozy Mysteries roundup. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if I missed any Cozy Mysteries that are coming out this month, which ones you're most excited for. If you've read any of these series, if you're really big on them, let me know. I always like hearing what your thoughts are on different series. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content coming very soon. I do upload mysteries and book content every single week, so I hope you won't miss out. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!